Today we're going to make a concrete table with gold veins in it. Stay tuned to the end of this video for a special offer from Sashco. This is a technique that my sister Jessie developed. You should totally check out her YouTube channel. I'll put a link to it in the description box below. I'm going to make the mold for the concrete table out of strips of melamine and a piece of whiteboard. I used my hot glue gun to glue the pieces of melamine down to the whiteboard. I sealed the insides of the mold with a product called Big Stretch by Sashco. Big Stretch is a water-based product that can span gaps of up to 2 inches. I've used it in the past to cover up gaps in crown molding, and it is available from Amazon.com. I used a pen to draw a design on the bottom of the mold, and then used my hot glue gun to make lines of glue right over the lines that I drew. I cut a piece of 3/4 inch thick plywood that will fit right inside the mold, and then coated it with 2 coats of Minwax polyacrylic. I mixed some Quikrete 5000 and then poured it into the bottom of the mold. I pushed and vibrated the wet concrete into the bottom of the mold, trying to get out as many of the air bubbles as possible. I screwed some scrap pieces of wood to the piece of plywood and then put a weight on it so that the plywood would stay in the right place. I used my orbital sander without a sanding pad to vibrate out more of the air bubbles. After letting the concrete cure for 48 hours, I removed the mold. The lines from the hot glue peeled right out, leaving some nice veins in the concrete. Once the concrete was completely dry, I used some 220 grit sandpaper to give it a light sanding. I mixed a 2-part tabletop resin and then poured it into a syringe. I'll put links to all the products that I used in the description box below. I used the syringe to apply the resin right into the cracks of the concrete. I then used a brush to sprinkle the gold powder on top of the resin. I used a straw and my breath to distribute the gold dust around. The gold powder sinks just under the surface of the wet resin, and the whole thing looks really glossy and doesn't look like glitter at all. The resin keeps moving until it hardens. That reveals some cracks in the gold. So I applied gold dust about 3 or 4 times with about half an hour in between those times. I used a razor blade to clean up the edges of the veins. I had to repeat this process for each of the 4 sides of the table as well. Once I was done layering in the gold, I flipped the tabletop over and screwed on some hairpin legs. For more detailed instructions, check out my website, and if you want to see what I'm working on next, be sure to follow me on Instagram. This project was sponsored by Sashco. Click on the link in the description to learn more about the Go Big Stretch or Go Back Challenge, where you can win free caulking and coupons from Sashco. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. Thanks, bye.